Hey everybody, I'm Captain Zeus and welcome back to BP Fun. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review over episode 7 of the Star Wars Acolyte series. Now, for those of you that haven't seen the episode, spoiler warning up ahead because I will be going into some details about the episode. Now, if you do like these reviews, please let me know in the comments below. Give us a like, share, subscribe, show some love to the channel. We really do appreciate it, and we got plenty of other nerdy content on here, so feel free to check that out as well. Now, one thing I will say is this episode was really confusing to me, and maybe it's just me, right? I mean, we all process things differently. Not everybody can understand the same things, but to me, this episode was confusing as heck. One thing I noticed is Sol's infatuation of Osha made me extremely uncomfortable, if I'm going to be honest. It's one thing to kind of feel through the Force that there's something special about someone, but there's no way that you're destined to have this person as your Padawan. There's no way that the Force is going to drive you to do all of these things without some kind of vision or something to intervene there. And it's just really made me uncomfortable. Sol's infatuation with Osha and the kids, I'm not gonna lie, it was just really weird and kind of just didn't make any sense to me. Something else that didn't make sense either was Indara and Sol's dynamic. Like, Indara was very Jedi-y, right? Let's hold on, let's wait for the council. Sol, being the edgy Anakin, break the rules kind of thing, was like, no, we should totally do this. She resists a little bit. Basically, he reiterates himself, and then she's like, okay. Like, she just gives in to him so quickly, almost every single, if not every single time. It seemed really weird how that played out, and it was robotic at points, so I wasn't really a big fan of that. And something else that didn't really make any sense, which I guess makes sense too, is how the girls were created. You know, the whole canon breaking, force making kids thing. It was because of a virgins. Never heard of that before. That's stupid name. And it's when the Force is just so condensed into one spot. Also, never heard of that before. That's weird. Why would the Force be condensed into one place like that to make life? I've never heard of that ever being in existence, and I thought the Force was through everything. Why is it condensing into one spot? Also, just doesn't make any sense to me. And what also doesn't make sense is, what's up with the witches? Like, it seemed like, because they explained that the twins are literally one. They are, which goes to the whole creepy, cultish, like, song that they sung early on in the season, where they're like, born as two, really one kind of thing. It's because they're both from one shared consciousness, which is weird. My first thought was maybe this is like the pre-Anakin, like this is what happens when you take the quote-unquote chosen one and you split them into two and you realize that's not going to work out, and so they have to be one. But then as the episode progressed, I realized, are they just like broken from the mom? Are they really just the mom's consciousness split into two? But as kids, also just doesn't make sense. Like, none of that was explained. And it also doesn't make sense as to how the witches are just disappearing into dust. Like, they're just phasing into dust and then going inside of people, but then also like merging with people. Because the mom, Black Mom, when she was like phasing into dust, you saw May also phasing with her, which I think is the hint that she's birthed from her consciousness. And then Sol was able to kill her in mid-phase, which kind of doesn't make sense because her body was basically dust there. So I don't know how he was able to, unless that's like her soul that just didn't disintegrate just yet. Maybe that was like her astral force form that he killed. No idea. Didn't make any sense. And then, first of all, how the heck did the Zabrak mom go inside of the Wookiee warrior? Confusing. I don't know how that's happening. I mean, witch powers? Sure. Okay. And then when Indara suppressed the Zabrak mom, I assumed because she was inside of the Wookiee, when she suppressed her out, it looked like she was actually, it wasn't the Zabrak mom that was in the Wookiee Jedi, it was actually the entire coven, which begs me to believe that maybe they're not like individual people. Maybe it's like the Flood from Halo, where they're all a hive mind sharing the same nucleus, but they're individuals almost, but they're not. But what also doesn't make sense is Indara, I can't tell what she actually did. She just put her hand on him and then was just like, I didn't know what happened. Well, she resisted and pushed the witches out of his consciousness. All of the witches died? That makes no sense. How does that work? Usually when someone's resisting or is resisted, they're just like exhausted or whatever. How did all of those witches die? If that was the case, does that mean the Zabrak mom died in that resistance as well. I don't know. Also, during the fight where the Wookiee Jedi was taken over by Zabrak Mom, and he was fighting Sol and the Padawan, there was literally no point in that episode where the Padawan's face got scratched up and his eye got messed up. Literally not a single part in that fight sequence showed how his face got messed up. I rewatched it again and I could have missed it, but when I rewatched it, there was no part. I thought maybe the Wookiee's claws, like if he had claws like nails, it scratched his face or something. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that. Wasn't no lightsaber slashes. He wasn't scraped against a building or anything. His face just got messed up out of literally nowhere. His face was fine. The Wookiee picked him up, slammed him against the wall, and all of a sudden you see like specific scratch marks along the left side, or his left side of his face. Makes no sense. Not sure how that happened. And one last thing I noticed at the end when Sol went to go save the twins. This was the stupidest thing ever. I have seen Jedi in the prequel trilogy be able to force pull, force push things heavier than twins on a thin steel bridge, even after a grueling fight. I have seen them do that. You've seen that in the Clone Wars, you've seen that in the movies. It makes no sense that Sol couldn't hold these two twins up. And then, after he lets one of them go, he is still barely able to hold up Osha. He lets Mai go to hold up Osha, and even then barely even works. And then she falls, and instead of force grabbing her, or force pulling her to him, he's just running to the edge to grab her, which, I mean, it works, you know, whatever. But it just didn't make any sense that Sol couldn't have them jump and he just force pulls them to him, right? Or just be able to force hold them so one can get to the other side safely. Like, there was a lot I felt with him being a Jedi Master, him being as skilled as he is in the Force, and we know how skilled he is with lightsaber battles. You see that fight he had with the Wookiee Jedi earlier in this episode, and even against Khmer when he was fighting in the forest. Like, he is skilled. He can't hold up two twins. It makes no sense. Granted, two different times with the Sith fight and this one, but it just didn't make any sense to me. He should have been able to save them. Literally this whole episode just confused me. The whole thing was Sol was infatuated by Osha and the twins from the get, and it seemed almost out of character, if I'm being honest. And then we're seeing Indara just resisting everything. Understandably so. It's completely new territory. You don't want to, mess something up that shouldn't be messed up. But then everyone's just like stupid. Everyone was stupid in this episode. I don't get it. And how did the Wookiee Jedi get taken over so quickly by the witch when it seemed like they were just teasing that the Padawan was going to get taken over? I would have understood if the Padawan was taken over and it was the Wookiee Jedi and Sol versus him, and that's how his face gets messed up because of the battle. I would have understood that. That could mess you up. But he was fine and nothing happened. And we saw what happened when the Black Mom went into the kid's mind. It was just her manipulating him to do what exactly? Submit? I'm not sure. Kind of confused there. She just revealed that he wanted to go home. And that's all he did. He was just a kid. He wanted to go home. But he never actually did anything. Like, he didn't do anything to be guilty of in this episode to make him kill himself that he did in episode 2. Literally nothing. He did nothing wrong. The only thing is maybe the fact that he got taken over like the day prior, but again, wasn't his fault. It would have made sense if he got taken over and he killed some witches right when he was taken over, or he killed some other Jedi that was there or did some damage, whatever the case. That could have definitely hindered someone's mentality, but none of that happened. He did nothing wrong. So there's no reason for him to kill himself. Absolutely none. If anything, it should have been Sol, because in a way, Sol incited all of this. It was Sol's fault. But yeah, this episode really did not make any sense. I was just so confused watching it, and I hope this season's almost over, because we had not only one, but 2 whole episodes, full backstory of the exact same event, which is crazy to get to, and not even back-to-back episodes either, just at random parts of the season. 2 episodes from 2 different perspectives of the exact same event that only one of them made a little bit of sense. I'm gonna give this episode a 1 out of 10. And the series I'm bumping down to like a 1.5 out of 10. It's so confusing. I don't know what's happening here. Now, please, if you guys understood anything that happened in this episode, let me know in the comments below. Honestly, just let me know, because I was confused. Clarify, what my confusions are here in the comments below. It's what the comments are for, discussion, civilized discussion, and clear the air, guys. And or let me know if you were also confused. What else confused you? If I miss anything, please, again, let me know in the comments below. I'm Captain Zeus, and I'll catch you guys later. See you.